Hey everyone, we're the Master Brothers, and today we're going to be unboxing our PlayStation 5 and giving you a run through on how we actually managed to get one.
Let's get into it.
So we have the disc edition, as you can see from the box, which means we have the optical drive that you can use for games or for 4K Blu-ray discs. But I think with the games, you still have to download stuff, so it's not like fully disc-based, you still have to use some of your small storage.
The front of the sleeve tells you a bit about the different frame rates and resolutions you can play at. So you can do 8K at 60 frames per second, 4K and up to 120 frames per second, and HDR.
So on the back, you can see what the console looks like when it's laying horizontally, and it also tells you that the storage is 825 gigabytes, which is a bit of a weird number, and it's quite small considering like the games are just going to get bigger now with the new next-gen consoles. But
yeah,
the reason for that is that it's just so fast. It's 5.5 gigabytes per second.
Yeah, I tried looking it up. I didn't really understand what was going on, but it's just crazy quick.
Yeah, so that's why they had to go for a smaller one.
Once you remove the sleeve, you have the actual box that the PS5 is in. And then when you open that box, you have another little box in there, and that contains all the different bits of kit that you need to use your console, like the controller and a few different cables.
So in terms of the cables that come inside the box, you have an HDMI 2.1 cable, which you'll need to use if you want to play at 8K 60 frames per second or 4K 120 frames per second. Otherwise, you'll be limited to 4K 60 frames per second. And the HDMI 2.1 technology is fairly new. I think it only really came out in 2018, so you will need to have a pretty new TV to actually make use of that.
You also get a USB-A to USB-C cable for connecting your controller to the console and charging, but it would have been really cool to get a USB-C to USB-C charger so that you can fast charge your controllers.
Yeah, I mean, it has a USB-C port on the front, so I'm not sure why they didn't do that, but probably just to save a bit of money.
Probably cost, yeah.
Yeah. And then the power cable itself is just a plain power cable, so no big brick to change the power. I think that all happens within the PS5, so it's good for 240 volts. And then you actually get to the console, and it is big.
It is a big boy.
It is big, yeah. And there's no graceful way to get it out of the box. Just do it carefully.
Yeah.
But it looks quite futuristic and definitely next gen. We'll put up a picture here so you can see how its size compares to its competitors and the previous generations as well.
Yeah, I also love the looks. It did remind me a little bit of a vampire because of those little fins coming up. Kind of look like the collar when they flick it up like that. We can definitely see where all the memes came from, saying it looks like a fan or a router, but it does look pretty brilliant in person.
Yeah, it looks so much better in person than in any pictures. So on the front of the console, you have one USB-A and one USB-C port, and it's nice that they put both, but I mean, I think with the way the world is going, it would have made sense to have another USB-C port probably.
I think it's a good transition where you have one of each, because
yeah,
I wouldn't expect everybody to have all USB-C.
That's true. And then below that you have a physical power button and a physical eject button.
On the back of the console, you have all the different ports you might need, like power, HDMI, Ethernet, and then you have two USB-A 3.0 ports.
The side panels are plastic and they're removable, so you can put on your own custom plates like the dark plates from D-Brand, which do look really good. But to be honest, I think I prefer the standard white ones because of the contrast with the device, and yeah, I just think it looks quite nice actually.
Yeah, they do look great. It's not exactly white, it's a bit off-white, greyish with a kind of a blue tint to it.
Yeah, and on the inside of the plates, there's also a really, really fine detail of the PlayStation icon, so the X, square, triangle, and circle. And from my perspective, just like from a manufacturing viewpoint, that is so cool how they've managed to get it so small and like so fine. It's a very like finely textured surface.
Yeah, it's a brilliant touch from Sony. It's really hard to notice, like we only notice it from watching other people's videos, but it's a great touch. Moving on to the controller, we think they did a brilliant job with pretty much every aspect of it. The design looks great and it's also really comfortable to use. It also has those little icons on the back of the controller for extra grip, which is a great touch.
And it also follows the same color scheme as the console itself, so the sort of slightly off-white with the black, and yeah, I think it also looks really nice. The buttons, touchpad, and left and right stick are quite similar to the DualShock 4, except this time the touchpad is a lot smoother, and the icons on the right-hand side no longer are color-coded, so they're just kind of transparent and just looks really clean.
Yeah, it's a nice minimal look.
Although you could go a bit retro, and there's probably going to be some like new controllers coming out with the actual color scheme, so
I'd actually quite like that.
yeah, bit of a throwback.
Just like the DualShock 4, you also have a 3.5mm headphone jack, which is great if you don't want to get a gaming headset and you just have a spare pair of headphones.
Yeah, it just works with regular headphones. And you can also have all of the sound play through those headphones, through the controller. So yeah, pretty cool if you're playing at night and don't want anyone to know.
Yeah, exactly.
Now the top of the controller is where they've really made the upgrade. So you've got a USB-C port to charge it and to connect to your console initially. But then you've got the adaptive triggers, which use a motor to change the amount of resistance that you feel when you're pressing the triggers. Really cool technology in there.
It's a really cool motor.
Because of my American accent, I'm trying to get rid of it, you know?
It's a motor. Now the best way to try it out and also test all the different features the controller has is by going into Astro's Playroom, which immediately starts downloading while you set up your console.
Yeah, it's a completely different experience and it's super immersive into the game. So you've got like a motion sensor in the controller, there's a speaker inside it, microphone, the touchpad, you use all those different things. So I think it kind of emphasizes the capability of the controller. So when we ended up playing Spider-Man Miles Morales, I felt slightly underwhelmed with it because it wasn't like being as dramatic with all of the different features that you have, but like having the adaptive triggers and like pressing it down and then clicking it to do the web and stuff, that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I think Astro's Playroom really just emphasizes everything that you can do to really showcase. But Miles Morales has been super fun to play.
Yeah, definitely. And it'll be really interesting to see what developers do with all of this new functionality within the controller, because there's so much more immersion possible with it. So
yeah, I reckon they'll make much more use of the adaptive triggers than what they've done with the touchpad in the past. So the PS5 has been pretty hard to come by and we are really lucky to even get hold of one. So we wanted to share what we did so it could help you guys get one as well.
So there's a lot of accounts on Twitter that will literally tweet as soon as stock goes live. So what I did was I followed a few of those notification accounts in the UK, and then I turned on the Twitter notifications for them so that it would pop up on my phone as soon as something went live. And then I would go on the website for the retailer and then just try my luck. And I definitely did not get it first time. It took me like 6-7 different websites and like on several different days and many tries to actually get it. So you just have to keep trying and just hope that like with all those tries that your luck will come through. And don't give up, because it will happen. Especially it's just getting easier and easier as more stock comes in. Most importantly, I would say, is don't buy from scalpers, like people who just buy it to resell it for more, because they're creating their own market by just creating an extreme supply and demand crunch. So don't contribute to that like cause. They're not providing any value. And also another tip with getting it from those Twitter notifications is read through the threads. So when they tweet an alert, there'll be people that post in a thread like, oh, I managed to get one. And then there'll be other people asking, oh, how did you do it? So read through those and see how they managed to do it, so that next time maybe it'll be adding it to your wish list or downloading the app for that retailer, so that next time you'll have a better shot of doing it. So definitely just have a read through.
Yeah, and what we'll do is we'll link a few Twitter accounts in the description below, some UK and some US.
So thanks very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the unboxing. We'll also be starting up another YouTube channel for our gaming, so we'll be doing some streams, some just videos of us playing. If you want to check that out, we'll put a link down below. From the Master Brothers,
We'll catch you on the flippity flip.